When things don't go according to the plan, you start to panic and you start to really wonder exactly what's happening. And I think that's exactly what's happening now with Mikel Arteta's us now, and even the Arsenal fans don't really know how to say with that team. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host Sam and we are back again with another one. So Arsenal just lost to Brighton at home at the Emirates by 2 goals to 0 in a game which in the first half felt like they were in control, they understood what they were doing. Then second half they just looked like they had no idea what was happening on the pitch and they just capitulated and they lost the game. There's a lot of things to look at this when you think about this game. Firstly, why is Raya playing like a midfielder while he's supposed to be a goalkeeper? Secondly, what is happening with Martin Odegaard? It seems like as much as we are expecting for him to move forward, he's taking 2 steps forward, 300 steps back, and every Arsenal fan has had enough. He's shouting. They're shouting over this. They're talking about it, and they're trying by all means to alert people that this is not good over their team and what they're seeing. We have to remember this. In this game, they needed to at least build up some confidence into Champions League, which they are going to be playing against PSG. PSG, by the way, who lost today against, I think it's called Sterling. I'm not really sure, but they made 10 changes. Yet Arsenal in today's game, they only made 2 changes. The Saka were in there, the Odegaard were in there, the Saliba were in there, Declan Rice was in there. They played almost the whole entire game, yet at the end of the day, they lost the game. What led to them losing the game? Well, maybe concentration. I felt like maybe they didn't want to be on the pitch. They think that they should be playing at a certain stage, in a certain place. And if they don't feel like they're being honored, they give you performance like this. And I don't want to lie to you, it was one of those performances. What's really happening? Because a lot of things I saw in that game should have been different. As now, Saka, Martin Odegaard, Trossard, and I think it's Martinelli. The strike force did not really ignite, did not really show what they're capable of doing. They had to rely on the midfielder in Declan Rice to be the goal scorer. And you just wonder if that continues, if the way their Arsenal is playing continues, it's going to be a problem. It is really affecting so many people. One person was talking about how much it's now boring to watch Arsenal because it feels like you're playing with robots. It seems like you're watching robots. They are doing things, acting in a robotic manner, robotic character. They don't look like they're giving their all, and that's where the problem is. And I think that's exactly what's affecting this Arsenal. They are not performing well. They are not giving more rather than what people expect. They should be performing better than that. So I just don't know what's going to happen, but they have to find a way. They need to find a way. So in the game, the first goal for Bournemouth, we need to talk about that because I think both of their goals were really some nicely from a throw-in, and Dean Huijsen scores from a throw-in header. And I just worry, Arsenal spend so much time on the field of training over the set pieces. How do you get considered with the set pieces? And not only once, but it seems like twice or more. And I just wonder exactly when will this come to an end. So many questions that you can raise when it comes to Arsenal, but they are not performing like a team that wants to finish number 2 because right now they are only 4 points behind Manchester City. The team we said that they do one of the worst in the West in terms of what we are seeing, the worst of season in Manchester City. Yet they are very close to Arsenal, so maybe we should be putting them in the same basket. This was not the only game which was played, really, to be honest, because the other games were played, and I'm gonna look at them and I wanna hear your thoughts in the comment section. For starters, early in the game, early in the morning, we witnessed Aston Villa put onto the game first so that I can talk about the game. So Aston Villa beat Fulham by 1 goal to 0 in a game which ended. Oh, Aston Villa scored their goal, and I think they just controlled it. They just had to handle the pressure, even though the pressure was really lifted and it was there. That's how it ended. Then on the other side, Manchester City played against Wolves, won by 1 goal to 0 in a game which goal should have been avoidable, but the Wolves did not focus. And when that did not happen, it became easy for Manchester City to score the goal. Leicester City beat Southampton by 2 goals to nil in a game which people are calling El Sakigo, and they were talking about nothing will really happen in this game. Yet, here we are. Then Leicester City played with Southampton. Then Ipswich played against Everton. It finished 2-2. Not a good result from Everton, but they are really trying. Then Chelsea versus Bournemouth. I think this was the interesting game. Arsenal versus Bournemouth, I've already talked about it. And I think those were the games of today. Tomorrow, of course, we're going to be watching Brighton versus Newcastle. We'll be watching Brentford versus Manchester United, West Ham versus United, Chelsea versus Liverpool, and the Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest. Remember, I'll be back again with some analysis, especially on the Arsenal game. We need to really look at it and really see what we would have missed. Don't forget to click that button, subscribe to Connect. We'll see you. We're out. Peace. Subscribe to the Connect.